Welcome to Love Light with Dr. Jean Marie Farish. Today, we'll show you how to use the spirit of love and self-worth to improve the connections with everyone else in your life. This program is your weekly gift, and it will keep on giving. You'll see. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jean Marie Farish.
Well, welcome everyone. I'm so delighted that you're joining us today. I'm Dr. Jean Marie Farish, host for Love Light, coming to you live on the Voice America Network to inspire a lifestyle of love and wholehearted connections through worthiness. Our show today, Parenting with Peace, is a special treat for Mother's Day, parents and families around the world. You know, parenting can be an awesome and joyful experience, but it comes with many challenges. When we speak of parenting, we refer to traditional and non-traditional family arrangements, including extended families, single parents, foster parents, and any situation in which adults have the primary responsibility to raise and care for children. Even those involved may have different beliefs that can be quite challenging. And we know that children are born with their own personality makeups without instructions, and oftentimes we're struggling with our own issues based upon our early childhood experiences, family and societal expectations, and our own critical self-judgment. And the need to conform, to be perfect, and even force conformity on children to be accepted can be an issue. And for me, my faulty fear-based delusions of perfectionism to be worthy or be accepted left me unfulfilled and discontent until I released critical self-judgment that affected all areas of my life. And I attribute it to love. So how do we reconcile our beliefs and our issues with parenting to love, encourage, and support our children to be the best they can become, as we too strive to do the same? As Abraham Maslow indicated, what is necessary to change a person is to change his awareness of himself. So with that being said, I welcome our guest, Karen Gibson, who hails from Hawaii. She will show us how not to lose our sanity and overcome challenges of parenting with the best outcome for both parents and children. Karen is an author, certified life coach. She's certified in neuro-linguistic programming. She's the founder of Letting Go Aloha and owner of Brain Builders, a private tutoring business. Karen, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. It is 6 a.m. in the Aloha State, and I'm ready to honor mothers everywhere. Amen. And I think, I think all moms need to know. I love how you said to release critical self-judgment. You know, we tend to just have such unrealistic parenting expectations and feel that if we're not the perfect parent, then we're failing at motherhood.
That is so great.
You know, I just, my message and my mission is just to let moms everywhere know that they are enough. And like you said, all our kids need is love, support, and encouragement. But I think we tend to, become the lecturer, and we think our wise words will influence them. But instead, they often see it as criticism, or, especially when we do you got to do this and have this to-do list, then they also end up growing to be adults that it's like a vicious cycle, because that's all they end up learning. And I wanted to start off with introducing the importance of learning your child's love language. There are 5 love languages. These love languages are from Dr. Gary Chapman, and I encourage everyone to take his quiz. It's on his website. It's like www.5lovelanguages.com quizzes. And so the first love language your child may have is acts of service. This is a child who loves if you help them with homework, clean their room, make them dinner, their favorite dessert. They just love having them receive, right? Just service and feel like, hey, I'm important when mom is there doing stuff for me. Second love language is physical touch. So these are the kids who love tickling or hugs. They might hold your hand when you're walking down the mall, and their faces light up when you physically touch them. And it could just be a high five, or, sitting next to them and touching their shoulder. Third one, and I think all kids love this, is words of affirmation. So they would love hearing, you're like the best daughter or son that any mom could ask for. Or, I feel so blessed to be your mom. I'm so proud of you for, whatever it is. And sometimes it's not just an achievement, but just so proud of being you. So they're not connecting that they only deserve your praise if they achieve something.
Yes.
And I think that's where we've been taught that you need to, good job for bringing the A.
I agree.
You know what, guess what? They're going to think, I only deserve praise if I get the award, if I bring home the A, if I make it on the soccer team. So if they do not make the grade, then their self-esteem is pretty much destroyed. And they feel like they're always going to need, this is the adult that turns into needing the promotion or getting that raise. Yes. So sometimes, like in Japan, there is a high suicide rate if you lose your job, because your self-worth is defined by what you do or the achievements that you earn. And especially during this, parenting during quarantine, it has changed the way we parent forever. It's not just during the quarantine, right? Because now we lack the social interaction and we're just stuck in our homes. And if you have extended family members with you, right? I think you and I talked about it earlier, where you have grandmas and grandpas and aunts, and sometimes even non-family members. In Hawaii, we call them like Hanai aunts and Hanai uncles, where you become the aunt and uncle, and sometimes the parent. If your parents are working full time and you just have a family friend who ends up spending tons of time with you, then it's important for them to understand the child's love language. So the fourth one is receiving gifts. And it doesn't have to be elaborate gifts. It could be like candy or a toy or some homemade drawing, homemade Post-it note, but they love actually a physical, like tangible gift that they can hold. And the last one I think all of us benefit from, and that's quality time. Yes. If I used to, my daughters are 18 and 24, but when they were little, even now, like napping together, you're just spending time, you're cooking together, or coloring eggs during Easter time. It's just going on a walk. Lately, because we have stay-at-home order and we're limited to, going out to the movies, we can definitely still spend quality time just in the comfort of your home.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Take
everyone
simple
can
pleasures.
Exactly. Simple pleasures. The other day, we just lit candles. We just, talked about childhood memories, and I didn't realize that. Yeah, when you talk to your kids and just emotionally connect, you're going to find out so many things that you did that made an impact. And you think that we, as a mom, oh my gosh, I messed up. And then when your child remembers something that you did when they were 6, or when you threw rocks in the ocean when they were 8. I now realize maybe, I didn't do such a bad job. I think all of it, like you mentioned, the self-critical judgment. I remember the times that I lost my temper, and then they remember their favorite bedtime stories. Yeah. It really makes moms, I think we need to go within, and I love you're sending light and love. We need to, as mothers, send light and love to ourselves. Praise such a huge, huge job. If you're a stay-at-home mom, it's even double the amount of time, right? Because you don't really have an outlet. And I think all of us moms who are still working, it's almost like we have no office to escape to. So we
Exactly.
You hear moms now doing their Zoom calls in the bathroom while the babies are on the floor.
Right. Right. A lot of different. On the patio, I saw a picture yesterday with the lady who carved out a special place on her patio deck to have an office. And it was.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
If you're in a one-bedroom apartment, you have 3 kids, you need a little corner. You need to have a section where your kids are busy so that they aren't screaming when you're in the middle of making a presentation. So it is definitely a challenging time. I mean, I have 2 dogs and a cat. So one time during a Zoom conference, I had my cat like nip at my toe, and I had to just, forge on.
But I think it shows the humanness in us, the human side of us, because we're so used to being in control and having everything perfect, and I have to have the perfect desk or the perfect, situation to present what I have to do, and the little humanness really brings a little laughter and joy, and we are now forced to slow down from the busyness of life, and it's a great opportunity to engage in these nourishing interactions that you mentioned. That's so beautiful and so important.
It is so important. I mean, just before going on with you, my daughter woke up and she said, Mom, I think you should embrace your mistakes and just know that that's how you emotionally connect with people. And she's 18. Really, yeah, she's 18. And I just thought, wait, mistakes? I'm going to make mistakes? And then I thought, wait a minute, I don't think she meant that. But like you said, we need to be okay to feel weak or cry, or we might feel like we failed. But you know what? We're teaching our kids that if we expect perfection of ourselves, then guess what? We are teaching our kids that they need to be perfect.
Right. And go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, and I think that's what just damages not only our self-esteem, but then our kids don't really learn to trust in their journey. And like you said, give up control and just release fears and just practice faith because,
Yeah, because, we have all these expectations, and it's just like Buddha said, what we do in this latter years of our lives is like unlearning what we've learned and, things that haven't worked for us and things that we pass on to our children that really makes them more, it questions their sense of value and self-worth. And we have to recognize that as we become whole in our own being.
Definitely. And I think that's what you nailed it when you said that we, sometimes, we will inadvertently pass on very unhealthy, maybe like parenting belief systems in our kids. I know way back when it was like, you have to spare the rod or just not, just the discipline was not what we value today. And sometimes the older generation might think that we're too soft, and kids need the harsh discipline and they need to be spanked. And with me, because of my daughter, and this is what made me write the book, she experienced a lot of anxiety and was throwing up, and she transformed into like an honor roll student to sometimes barely passing her classes.
That happens frequently. Go ahead with your story.
Well, I realized that by taking her phone away and disciplining her, it did not increase her self-esteem. It worsened her anxiety. And what I thought would motivate her actually did the total opposite. So I think we have to really just, like you said, relearn what we thought was healthy for our kids. A lot of times we think, oh my gosh, these kids are not disciplined, they're not motivated, but I don't think we realize why they are not motivated. Kids have so much pressure. I have 8-year-olds who feel a lot of pressure because when they get disciplined, they automatically feel that they are not worthy, that they don't trust in their own, self-worth. They don't learn to love themselves because they feel that every time they're scolded or disciplined, it's proof, it's testimony that they are not good.
Yes, that is so powerful.
Instead of motivating them, kids these days, I never really heard of kids so young cutting themselves or even suicidal. This parenting during quarantine, it has changed our routines. You can video chat, you can Facebook Messenger, you can, they're doing Snapchat and Instagram Live, but it doesn't mean that they, it's just the way that we interact nowadays and the way that we pressure our kids to get the scholarships and get the A's and, like you said, live up to perfection. They are burning out. I have a 12-year-old who feels so burned out. And I think she's 12. What's going to happen when she's 21 or 45, you know?
Yes. I love your authenticity in sharing those experiences because it speaks volumes for all of us. And I know you have been a teacher, you're a parent, you've written a book on how to help parents become better for themselves and their children. And one of the things that I wonder about, of course, even though we talk about parents who have that direct influence, but the teachers, I mean, they come with their own expectations and their own, issues as well. And they have to strive for the kids in their class to get the A's so that they can keep their job. So I see a lot of pressure among teachers. And, I think it has that same impact. Would you agree or not? How do you see that as a teacher?
Oh, definitely. I think a lot of teachers, too, they aren't mothers. And so they have so much pressure to actually be the mother in the classroom, not only as mothers, but they're coaches and their counselors and their law enforcement, too, because they need to make sure that discipline is administered at the same time as, doing the curriculum requirements, and the Common Core has really messed up, I think, our kids' academics, because they are taught just different ways. And parents are looking at their homework thinking, what in the world is going on? Because our kids are not learning their multiplication tables, and their pressure to follow whatever the education system is mandating is really damaging our kids, just mentally, emotionally. Our kids are not getting the academic education sometimes because the pressure to succeed, and as you said, the pressure of teachers. Can you imagine? There's 30 children in there with different learning styles, different love languages. So how do you effectively teach 30 kids?
You don't have time. You don't have time. And because you have to perform and you have to show that you are, academically driving the students and showing that they're making the A's so that you can keep your job. So I think the pressure trickles down on all levels. And even though we're talking about the effect on children, but it's affecting the parents, the teachers, I think the whole, everyone's affected in the situation. So you're bringing up some very, very profound points for us to really, share and to make us more enlightened and more aware. Like, I love the love languages that you mentioned. You brought it in focus to actual practical points for us to really look at and observe how children respond to us and how they learn. Does that have a lot to do with learning style, or is that part of it, or not?
Well, this is my analogy. It's almost like if the teacher is speaking Spanish, but the love languages and the learning styles, you have some kids speaking German, some people speaking Japanese, another person speaking Filipino, and they all are learning in different languages. So if a teacher is primarily teaching, say, using visual aids, and the student is kinesthetic, they want to have hands-on. Well, when you're telling a child who needs to build stuff to learn, but you're telling them, let's read a chapter on American Revolution, but they would actually like to act it out in order to learn, or watch a movie about it, the paper pencil task is not going to be as effective. So some kids are being judged for not being smart, and sometimes misdiagnosed as, I think they have learning disabilities. And I know you're working with kids, they do not have a disability, but in the classroom, they might appear to be, have maybe attention deficit disorder, but they're just bored. They're very smart kids, but they're misdiagnosed because they just can't concentrate in a room of 30 kids who have different, not even just learning styles and love languages, but they have their own issues. Some of them might be going through divorce, right? Some people might have lost a loved one. Some people might be experiencing abuse. We don't know what is going on behind closed doors. Okay,
well, Karen, we're going to just hold that thought. We have so much to talk about, and you've really shed a lot of light on how to, become the best parents that we can be, and things that we need to be more aware of. So now we're going to take a quick commercial break, so don't go away. We'll be right back with our guest author, Karen Gibson, Parenting with Peace, founder of Letting Go Aloha.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
Celebrate the launching of Dr. Jean Marie Farish's new book, Living in the Spirit of Love, to guide you in strengthening and embodying the practice of love in your daily life. Connect with us on Facebook and join our Lover's Lane Feel Good Now community. And tune in to the Love Cocktail Minute. Relax, refresh, renew for support and daily inspiration. Life Care Wellness Pep for Angels, Inc. is a nonprofit organization to enrich lives and serve our community with emphasis on serving children who are hospitalized. Join Dr. Jean Marie Farish and Vicki Winterton in their global mission to donate My Joy Journal for children in English and Spanish to as many children as possible. Order directly from Amazon.com and donate to children in your communities.
If you are ready to be inspired, energized, and edutained, you've come to the right place with our 2 life-changing programs at BeTheStarYouAreRadio.com. Live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Listen for our lifestyle show, Star Style, Be the Star You Are, with our host Cynthia Bryan. Then on Sundays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, Teens Talk and the World Listens on Express Yourself Teen Radio. Play with us at BeTheStarYouAreRadio.com and the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You are tuned in to Love Light with Dr. Jean Marie Farish. Feel free to connect with our program through email or check out our links on Facebook. Reach Jean at Jean72Farish@yahoo.com. That's Jean72Farish@yahoo.com. And now, back to Love Light.
Well, welcome back, everyone. You've been listening to Love Light, Living in the Spirit of Love with your host, Dr. Jean Marie Farish. And joining me is our guest, Karen Gibson, who hails from Hawaii, Parenting with Peace. She's the founder of Letting Go Aloha, author, and certified life coach. Karen, you have really been so inspirational and shedding light on a lot of things that we need to become more aware of to be the best for ourselves as well as for our children. What brings me to a quote that I love by Eric Fromm in The Art of Loving. I am loved because I am, not I am loved for what I am. And this speaks to unconditional love, not loving based upon conditions of what's produced. And I know in our earlier segment, we talked about how we want our children to be successful. And a lot of times it's based on societal expectations and our own expectations, because if my children are not successful, perhaps I'm not going to be deemed worthy in my community or in my social network. So it brings me to our point about self-love and self-worth. How does that impact parenting and also self-care?
Oh my gosh, that is my whole message. I think moms everywhere, especially during this Mother's Day weekend, that they have to not only tell themselves, but tell their children every single day that they are enough, that they are perfect exactly as they are, no matter if they happen to fail a geometry exam or they didn't make it on the cheerleading team that they've always wanted to. If you have older kids who tried for a promotion and they didn't get it, we are not defined by our, like we said, our achievements. And I love it that we are It's who you are. Who you are should never be judged. And despite the criticism that you might receive from teachers or coaches or even parents, aunts, uncles, that you do not conform to society's expectations to be perfect. Our self-worth defines our happiness. I mean, it equates with happiness. If we do not feel enough, oftentimes that's what leads to anxiety, depression, panic attacks. I mean, I suffered from multiple depressions in my life. And in my book, I do talk about kind of like checking out for 2 years prior to writing this book. And my self-worth was pretty much non-existent. I did not see myself, didn't love myself because I thought that whatever actions and choices Chelsea made was a reflection of my self-worth. Yes. And that's why it's really hard, I think, on parents who see their kids make wrong choices or just choices at the time that might lead to drug use or crime or, whatever that they do. And it does not define your value as a parent.
Yes, as Leo Biscaglia says, you can't give what you don't have. So we have to keep our own cup filled. So what are some things that parents can do to take care of themselves or love themselves more, because you can't give from an empty cup. So even if we have to show our children love, if I don't love myself, I have nothing to relate to. What's your take on that? Right.
Well, I think that's what we have to do. We have to make self-love and self-care a top priority instead of the to-do list. We have to attend this business meeting. We have to meet this deadline. We have to do this Zoom call. I mean, what we need to do, and I was telling a mom yesterday that sometimes it could you might have 6 kids at home, but just take a 10 minutes, just soak in the tub for 10 minutes. It might seem like forever, but if you soak in, scented, your favorite scented bath, enjoy like a glass of wine at night or your favorite juice and just soak, even if it's for 3 minutes. I've done like a 4-minute just bubbles and you're just surrounded with your favorite music. And that's all it is. It's 3 minutes. But you know what? It will just fill your cup. And I totally agree with you. If your cup is empty, that's when conflicts arise, which will affect everybody's moods. I mean, we all know all you need is to have a temper tantrum from a 3-year-old, and whatever mood you were, like on cloud 9, and you just dive down and feel like you have zero self-worth, all because of a screaming child or someone, you have teenagers fighting over who ate the last brownie, and then you're thinking, wait, now there's World War III in your house, and you were just on top of the world.
Yes, And Karen, I think it's nice to, as you were talking about, ways that you can refresh yourself, taking that bath. I love nature. Nature is healing to me. I just love going to my favorite lake to just, sit and be calm. But also, these are opportunities to carry the children along, when you need a breather. Let's get out of the house and maybe walk along the lake or just take a walk or do something refreshing, and it changes, it can shift the energy.
Well, and that's what we are. Even with the social distancing, I'm noticing, if we drive by, you don't have to leave your car. We just drive by the beach. You see the sunset. You see the waves. All of a sudden, life is wonderful again. It doesn't have to be going to the movies outside of the house. It can be, nature is so healing, and it's a way to give you self-love. Just go outside in your garden, go outside, even if you're in an apartment building, go outside and look at the, the view. It could just, it's amazing now. It's empty streets, right? And it's empty.
You can see the sky.
Yeah, you can see the sky. And it's not like, even in California, there's like less smog, and we're noticing bluer skies. And in a way, there are blessings during this. It's a pandemic, but we have to focus on the blessings that have come out of it. It's kind of like with 9/11, whenever you have traumatizing, what appears to be just something that we can never heal from. It's just so many opportunities that I think people are showing that they're giving, right? People are sewing masks. I have a friend in Washington who sewed 100 masks and donated to the soldiers in Schofield. Other people are really giving, and it makes you feel good too. So by giving, you're giving yourself love, and you're feeling worth, all because of you volunteering, and just giving.
Yes. Yes, and even just connecting. I think you and I talked about this virtual aspect of children connecting with their friends, or having some type of supervised interaction or whatever. If to have not full control, but at least to give your children space to maybe encourage virtual interactions with family members or friends or whatever. To keep that connection even in the midst of these trying times.
Well, yeah, if routines have changed, social interaction have changed, but I think even if you have little ones, I mean, they can have a virtual movie, field trip, a virtual party. When we just had one cousins, and so we had someone from Washington, someone from the Big Island, someone from California, Idaho, and all of us feel like we're in the room. And so kids can do the same. I mean, I have kids having virtual ballet, virtual soccer practice. I mean, it's amazing that you do not have to have physical presence in order to feel emotionally connected. It's amazing how just doing the video chat, my daughter went to the Big Island, and all of a sudden she had like 45 people, I think, kids in a video chat, and I hear her laughing. She didn't really have friends before, and then after this Leo Club convention, I heard her laughing, and she was actually talking and having a virtual party, so to speak. And so, with graduation coming up, she's a senior. They've canceled graduation, but she's been keeping close contact, and that's what and at home, emotional connection brings so much more value than the A's and getting all the academic accolades. I mean, I don't think we've realized that emotional intelligence surpasses in IQ. And so yes. Chelsea just recently learned IQ versus EQ, and realizing that you can be the smartest person, have an Ivy League degree, and work as a CEO. But if you do not know how to emotionally connect with people, you will lose employees, lose friendships, even maybe lose your marriage, because you do not know how to, like you said, your self-worth, your self-love is non-existent. So like you said, your cup will be empty and you will not know what happened, even though you're earning six figures, even though you are what society deems a success, but you're alone. Your kids sometimes might even disown you, because they just do not feel loved or connected with you.
I think the relationship that we have with people really make a difference. You brought up some interesting points. I remember in my academic career and things of that nature, a lot of work that I've experienced, and people would talk about and traveling to other countries and working in other countries. It was shared that the relationship is more important, not because you have the doctorate degree or you have this list of all your accomplishments, but they look at the relationship, how you connect with others, that make a difference. They don't care about the smartest person who really doesn't have relationship skills. It's the person who has the relationship skills and openness to learning, because they figure, well, they can be trained or, learn more, but they're open in terms of building relationships with other people. So it's the same thing with parenting and the relationships that we build with our loved ones and family members, especially in these extended family networks, because for now, there are a lot of extended family members living together with children, and some parents are alone and by themselves. So there are different kinds of arrangements. And those virtual kinds of opportunities, that really speaks volumes, because parents think that they have total responsibility to make the children happy or keep them busy. And your daughter really, she's been quite creative in developing all kinds of social networks. And I think you mentioned a chess? We talked before about what?
Oh, yes. I didn't know. Match. Yeah, she just had a virtual chess match, and I didn't even know that she was really interested in chess, but she met someone, and then he was on a chess team. And so they just had a virtual chess match. And she lost, but she had so much fun. And it was just 5 people. But I love how you mentioned the extended families. In Hawaii, we have, you can imagine, the price of houses and everything, it's just so high. Yeah. So we have multiple families, multiple generations living together. Yeah. So you have, like you mentioned, conflicting parenting styles and when you have different childhood belief systems and cultural belief systems, it really impacts how we treat our kids and the expectations the way, that we have on our kids. But I wanted to point out when you were saying how too much emphasis is put on, the education and all of these degrees. I have an example, and I'm all for education, but my husband, Thomas Gibson, he works for Spectrum. He grew up not very, his dad lost his leg through diabetes. He was the primary income maker at age 17, didn't have college, but as a sales engineer, he has proven not only is it the willingness to learn, but the willingness to just emotionally connect and just put yourself out there. You might not have much self-worth at times, but if you just put yourself out there and believe that you are able to give value and you're able to help, and that's all it takes. We are called the Aloha State for a reason. I think it's because people here, when he came to Oahu, he would help every stalled car.
Wow.
And he would, and I told him, and my friend in New York said, oh my gosh, we would never help people. We don't have time.
But I know, really, when you have to take the time. Your husband is fantastic. To show how he's, he really used his, personality and relationships and desire to help other people, how that made a difference for himself and others as well, and enhanced his relationship and career.
Yeah, it's amazing. He actually shared that he likes working with people who are not very happy, like customers that are not very happy with their services, and all of a sudden he can turn it around and he puts themselves in their position, and all of a sudden you have a happy customer. It just amazes me how some that happens, because sometimes when you deal with someone who is not happy, whether it's a child, a client, a boss, you end up taking on that negative energy, and then you end up feeling like resentment because it drains you. But I think if we turn it around and use it as an opportunity, not only to give aloha, give love, but, help the person and not see it as a personal attack. I think these tantrums and these rolled eyes and slamming doors, I am I am very guilty of that. Yesterday we had a mini world war over dishes that weren't washed in the sink, and all of a sudden in 5 minutes I realized I had to take a step back. And I think these closed quarters, we are all, there's 4 of us.
It's
plus
realistic.
I have 2 dogs and a cat. I have my mom who has Alzheimer's in a care home, and sometimes things get so stressed out that we forget what's really important, and we end up arguing over someone who ate the last brownie, or someone who didn't abide by bedtimes, or didn't do their chores, or now in a couple of weeks a lot of kids will be ending school, and the AP classes, there's so much work and so much pressure, on the kids who are taking the higher level classes, and we have to take a step back and deep breathe, take a walk in nature. Yes. Have an ice cream break and just.
Yes. For me, it's the banana split. I love
the banana split.
With the extra ice cream and the extra nuts and all the time.
Yes. Well, my daughter is into
day,
anything that works. My daughter's into culinary, so Chelsea made these incredible Kahlua. I don't know if you've heard of Kahlua. It's a coffee liqueur. So she made Kahlua cheesecake with Oreo cookie crust cupcakes. And I just thought, take a bite into your favorite treat. It's like everything is fine. Some people, like you said, banana split. Other people, it might be a Reese's peanut butter cup, but find something. Like dance to, I was just listening to Eye of the Tiger before, our interview. And I thought, your favorite music, your favorite treat. Really look in the mirror. And I just saw this exercise on self-love. And it's just telling yourself, looking in the mirror, that you are enough.
Yes.
That everything is perfectly fine just the way you are. Oh, I think it's time.
I love that. You have really brought up some good tips there. I just love it. And we're just going to take a brief commercial break, so don't go away. We'll be right back with guest Karen Gibson, Parenting with Peace author, certified life coach, and founder of Letting Go Aloha.
America is on your favorite smart speaker. If you have Alexa or Google Home, go ahead and give us a try.
Hey Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast on TuneIn.
Celebrate the launching of Dr. Jean Marie Farish's new book, Living in the Spirit of Love, to guide you in strengthening and embodying the practice of love in your daily life. Connect with us on Facebook and join our Lover's Lane Feel Good Now community and tune in to the Love Cocktail Minute. Relax, refresh, renew for support and daily inspiration. Life Care Wellness Pep for Angels Inc. is a nonprofit organization to enrich lives and serve our community with emphasis on serving children who are hospitalized. Join Dr. Jean Marie Farish and Vicki Winterton in their global mission to donate My Joy Journal for children in English and Spanish to as many children as possible. Order directly from Amazon.com and donate to children in your communities.
Are you looking for life's answers? How about the meaning of true self? Can you really be a better person overnight? Well, good luck with that. Now, if you really want to know more about this insane world and life we lead, tune into Dr. Gary Bell's Absurd Psychology. You'll learn about how the brain operates under different psychological conditions. Some common sense. Heck, you might just actually learn something. Listen Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern on Voice America Empowerment.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You are tuned in to Love Light with Dr. Jean Marie Farish. Feel free to connect with our program through email or check out our links on Facebook. Reach Jean at Jean72Farish@yahoo.com. That's Jean72Farish@yahoo.com. And now, back to Love Light.
Well, welcome back to our show, everyone. This is Love Light with your host, Dr. Jean Marie Farish. If you're just joining us, we are with guest Karen Gibson. She's an author, certified life coach, founder of Letting Go Aloha, and also founder of Brain Builders, on our topic, parenting with peace. Karen, I would like for us to touch on, I know there are different generations and different parenting styles and people are living together. What are some ways to resolve the different types of conflicts regarding how to raise a child or whatever that's perhaps now people are in the same environments dealing with that?
I think it's a great question. I get asked that all the time. And the secret is to have compassion. You increase compassion, you will reduce conflicts. Everyone has different influences, and our belief system and our parenting style, we believe it is truly the right way. So when you have a grandma who's been raised one way and a mom and a dad and everyone, especially if you're an extended family, that's where conflicts will arise, because maybe the dad might have a harsher way of discipline, the grandma might have a less style, right? Just more patient, and maybe they spoil the child. And then the parents are telling her, no, we want to make sure that we raise someone with values just like us. And I think we need to step back and realize that it's just about, building just trust and compassion and knowing that our kids will not suffer if they are not given the right discipline. Our job is not to fix our children. We just have to teach them that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to make mistakes. And most of all, to trust in not only your child's journey, but your journey as a parent, despite conflicting parenting styles.
Yes, I think that we're all growing and we're all learning, and we should keep that at the forefront. We don't know all the answers, and perhaps some of the ways that we were brought up or trained to be doesn't work for us as well as with our children. And I love the fact that you're bringing up the trust and the compassion, because I think compassion really is the key to leveling the playing field. To really connect with the extended family members or people who are with us involved in the parenting relationships, because we have different arrangements. As I indicate, it's not just moms, but you have all kinds of extended families, single parents, foster parent arrangements, or whatever. So there are all kinds of traditional and non-traditional family roles that we have to take into account, these conflicting kinds of values and beliefs. So compassion, I think that's kind of the main thing here.
And then, sorry?
No, go ahead.
Oh, and then the other thing that will change your life, and that's what changed my relationship with Chelsea, is I stopped lecturing and learned to listen. So when I asked her, what do you need from mom? It was so simple. I want you to listen. I want to feel heard. I want to feel understood. And after that was in place, arguments no longer existed until I stopped listening. I mean, when you think about it, every conflict starts because someone does not feel heard. They do not feel understood. So when you're arguing, oftentimes you're not listening because you're thinking about the next thing to say to counteract what that person said. And then all hell breaks loose, right? You have the mother yelling and then the father yelling and the kid crying. And if they can just take a deep breath, we all don't, I think, realize the power of just taking 3 long, deep breaths. Maybe each of them go in a different part of the house. If you have a one-bedroom apartment, someone goes to the bathroom, someone goes here, and just give yourself 3 minutes of space before connecting again. Because if you do not take time to listen and just to, like you said, right, it's the self-love, self-worth. I mean, just knowing that everyone is right in their own head, but they are listening and believing their own stories. So we all think that we're right, and that's what causes conflicts, because we really believe the other person is wrong.
What do they say? Do I want to be right or do I want to be happy?
Exactly. It took me a long time to learn that. Because you know what they also say, though, in order for me to be happy, I need to be right. And if so if you operate with that philosophy, you will never, ever be happy, because your need to be right. Yeah, your need to be right will destroy relationships. And that's what, divorces happen, relationships end. You will destroy relationships with kids and even, whether teachers, bosses. We cannot have love and worth and just feeling happy if you are going to put your ego. Pride and ego has to be set aside, especially when you have conflicting parenting styles and belief systems.
Yes, I love that, the listening skills. People want to be seen and they want to be heard, and we have to remember that it's all about love. Tell me this, are there any resources that can be helpful to parents?
Yes, actually, there are national parent helplines. I've been referring people to, nowadays because of the quarantine, they might not be available 24 hours. I did call a few yesterday, but there's parent stress lines. There's family help centers. If you Google, like a parent helpline in your state, in your country, counselors, therapists, usually they will have exact resources. But what I wanted to also tell your listeners is that my book, the one that you were mentioning, Mama's Gotta Let Go, How to Let Go Without Losing Your Sanity, is available tomorrow, May 9th, all day on Amazon Kindle for a free download.
Oh, wow. Great gift for Mother's Day.
And I'm just encouraging people to, And I didn't realize that you can actually gift it to other people. So you can give a Mother's Day gift. It'll be available. If they don't have the Kindle app, download the app. It can be downloaded on your phone, and you can gift it. So you can have a free Mother's Day gift that actually will help your mom learn how to let go without losing their sanity.
I love that. I love that. So how can people connect with you?
They can email me at kgbrainbuilders.com. I also have, since you're talking about letting go with Aloha, I have a website called www.lettinggowithaloha.com, or I can give you my phone number. It's 808-306-5374, and I'm open to helping people. I'm offering actually a free parent coach session if they mention your show and say that they want to learn to let go and learn how to, teach their kids how to self-love and know that they can be perfect just as exactly as they are.
Wow, Karen, that has been so powerful. Thank you so much for joining me today on Parenting with Peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Okay, well, today we've been inspired by Karen Gibson with helping strategies to parent with peace to help both parents overcome challenges through healthier interactions and creative approaches to facilitate bonding and healthy virtual social connections and take those small steps for the best outcomes for both children and parents. So we'd like for you to tune in next week with Raina Alfalaki, Recovering Your Losses, A Journey to Reconnection. Remember to write in your My Love Light Reflection Journal. The upcoming Love Light practice exercise is posted on my website, blog page, www.jeanferrisjourney.com. So go there and engage with the Love Light practice for the upcoming week. Send me your insights and I actually will share them live on the show. Much gratitude to Voice America team for making this show a reality and shining their love light around the world. And remember that an empowered self is a loving self, and keep your love light shining.
Thank you for listening to Love Light this week. Be sure to join Dr. Jean Marie Farish again for another program next Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time and noon Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a wonderful week filled with love, self-worth, and better connections.